Good evening, everyone. I'm Gary Witherspoon, Outreach Deputy Director for the Purple Line. On behalf of Governor Wes Moore, Transportation Secretary Paul Wiedefeld, and Maryland Transit Administration Administrator Holly Arnold, welcome to the 11th Community Advisory Team meeting for the Long Branch community. This meeting is being recorded, so you'll be able to find the presentation later on our website, purplelinemd.com. That's purplelinemd.com, along with responses to questions we will answer tonight and those we could either not answer or could not get to. As a courtesy, we are continuing to host these meetings online, and we're happy with the response we've received since moving these meetings to virtual. Please mute your microphones and keep your cameras off until after the presentation, and please mute your telephones. For those who would like a live translation, the Teams format can translate this presentation into a number of languages, including Spanish, Arabic, Chinese, French, and many others. Instructions for seeing live translations are being placed in the chat area of this meeting. Our translator, MTS Outreach Liaison Catherine Webb, will now relay that information in Spanish. Catherine?
Buenas noches y bienvenidos. Para aquellos que desean una traducción en vivo, Teams puede traducir los comentarios de esta tarde a varios idiomas, incluyendo español, árabe, chino, francés y muchos más. Las instrucciones para ver las traducciones en vivo se están colocando en el área de chat de esta reunión. Back to you, Gary.
Gracias. Tonight, we'll update you on the project status, take a look at the project timeline, provide a construction update during which we'll discuss work completed, and we'll show you some progress photos, tell you about upcoming work, and talk about community engagement, and we'll take questions, first from CAT members and then everyone else. Please hold all questions until after the presentation. And we ask that you limit questions or comments to 1 minute. Tonight, we are joined by MTA Project Director Ray Biggs II, Doran Basso, CEO of the concessionaire Purple Line Transit Partners, or PLTP, Hugo Fontourage, Project Executive for Maryland Transit Solutions, also known as MTS, the project's builder, Ed Davis, one of the construction managers for MTS, and Carla Julian, the MTS stakeholder manager. Tonight, we'll cover the segment of the Purple Line that includes the following stations: Manchester Place, Long Branch, and Piney Branch Road. We are excited to share that we have created new renderings for many of our stations, some of which we're sharing for the first time during this meeting. Here's a look at the Long Branch station on Arliss Street near Piney Branch Road. This station will feature side platforms for westbound and eastbound trains. Crossing gates will be featured near the station to prevent vehicles from crossing in front of the trains entering and exiting the station. And here's the Piney Branch Road station on University Boulevard, near where it intersects with Piney Branch Road. All 4 of the stations along University Boulevard will be center platforms that will occupy the median area of University Boulevard. The project will enhance pedestrian safety around each station with ADA-compliant crosswalks and upgraded signals to include pedestrian countdowns to safely cross the roadway. Again, we're delighted that we can give you a better idea of how your station areas will look. And all of the renderings can be found on the project website, purplelinemd.com. That's purplelinemd.com. Now, here's MTA's Ray Biggs II. And again, please stay tuned and hold all questions until after the presentation.
Thank you again, Gary, for kicking off our last CAT meeting for this fall season. And to kick it off, we have a project status update video for you. I am sitting here at one of the many businesses that will benefit from the Purple Line, directly across the street from the new Riverdale North UMD station. This will be the first complete station. As we near the end of 2023, the nearly 1,000 workers building the Purple Line is making measurable progress along the alignment. Another significant improvement is the new stormwater management system. This includes miles of new pipes ranging from 12 inches to over 72 inches in diameter. More than 53% of this new pipework is now complete. Along with concrete pipes, our teams have installed over 20,000 square feet of underground sand filters, retention ponds, and planter boxes, all important parts of the new stormwater drainage system. These critical environmental upgrades may not be visible above ground, but must be completed before tracks are added. In Bethesda, work connecting the elevator to Metro's Red Line has reached the bottom of the shaft, and teams have started excavating horizontally to create the cavern.
Turn it on!
The Elm Street pedestrian path across the alignment, as well as another half a dozen bridges and underpasses, will serve the new and improved Capitol Crescent Trail. Concrete placement of the historic Talbot Avenue Bridge occurred in early 2023, along with necessary road improvements, making it possible to open the road this year. Concrete for the elevated Silver Spring Station and the elevated Kenilworth Riverdale Station are complete, and crews are hard at work on the utilities and other advanced station elements. And speaking of stations, more than half of Purple Line stations are currently under construction, with structural canopies installed at Riverdale Park North UMD. Canopies provide an exciting glimpse of how Purple Line stations will look. During the summer break at the University of Maryland, crews accomplished a tremendous amount of work, completing drainage, roads, and tracks. Over 1,500 linear feet of track is now in place on campus as part of the 5 future stations servicing the University of Maryland. Along Veterans Parkway, our Glen Ridge Operation and Maintenance Facility is fully operational, with yard utilities and specialty track installation underway. Purple Line light rail vehicles are scheduled for delivery here in early 2024. Thanks for watching our progress update video for the Purple Line. You can get key information and updates at purplelinemd.com. All right, wow, we have been really busy across the alignment over the last few months, and now we are more than 58% complete with construction. That speaks to a lot of what we've been doing, with now more than 60 active construction sites, with approximately 1,100 workers along those 16 miles of construction that are going on. And with that, we also have 98% of the underground utility relocations complete. We outlined some of that in detail in that video that was just played. We've also installed more than half of the overhead catenary pole foundations along the alignment. And on the next slide, we talk about 3 of the 10 traction power stations have been installed along the alignment, which will supply that power for the Purple Line. And also, as highlighted in the video, we've now had a couple canopies starting to go up, but the first station canopy at Riverdale Park North UMD station is now up. So if you want to be able to see one of the stations and how they will look like, that will give you an idea of what the station will look like in its completed conditions. And we've mentioned before, but we are now anticipating on bringing on the first light rail vehicle next year. And 26 of those vehicles are waiting for us up in Elmira, New York, to start being delivered down here to Maryland for us. And tonight we'll focus on Manchester Place and Arliss Street, but we have 11 stations that are currently under construction, which speaks a lot to that 58% that we have going. And now I'll turn it over to Doran Basso, the CEO for Purple Line Transit Partners, to give an update on the schedule.
Thanks, Ray. That's a little recap of the recent progress we've made. So let's look forward, kind of big picture for the project schedule. This summer, the project went before the Maryland Board of Public Works and gained approval to extend the contractual timeline for passenger service to spring 2027, as you can see there. This change reflects the ongoing utility relocation activities, completing construction in a dense urban environment, and some of the unique challenges that we have here on the Purple Line. But let's walk through this updated timeline. As Ray said earlier, the light rail vehicles, the real star of the show, we're really looking forward to arriving in 2024 at our Glen Ridge Operations and Maintenance Facility on Veterans Parkway in Prince George's County. Summer of 2025, we'll be looking to complete the test track, followed by system-wide testing of the entire system, which will be quite a lengthy process. And then the big step we have to complete is making sure that it's safe and ready for operation and passengers in spring 2027. But now I think I'll turn it over to Ed for a little more detail of what's going on in your neighborhood.
Thanks, Doran. I'm going to give the construction update. I'm Ed Davis with MTS. I'm the area manager for this area. So right now, we're going to start at the west porthole of the Plymouth Tunnel, which is off of the Wayne Avenue side. Recent ongoing work right now, we've completed the excavation. We have placed concrete for the bottom slab and also the two sidewall slabs of the porthole, which is more than 1,250 cubic yards of concrete. We began the installation of the waterproofing membrane. And then the upcoming work in this area, we're going to continue the construction of the porthole roof, which if anybody goes by, they're forming that up now. We're going to begin construction of the retaining walls that extend out there and begin the installation of the drainage systems that go alongside those walls that go up to Manchester Station. Okay, Manchester Station, Manchester Place Station. We are recent and ongoing work there. We're continuing to survey the station construction. We're beginning to work on the interior station structural components. The upcoming work is we're going to be beginning the installation of the interior station elements and begin the construction of the stairs for the station access to Plymouth Street. Inside the Plymouth Tunnel, we've had a lot of exciting work going on there, but we've continued the installation of the waterproofing. We've continued to install track. We've continued the concrete placement for the track installation, which is underneath there to the rectification track. And we also began to install the electrical support system that will handle all of the electrical conduit and electrical components of the tunnel. The upcoming work there is we're going to be completing the track installation. We're going to begin the installation of the wall anchors for the overhead catenary system, and also begin the installation of all the other new utilities to service that. Going over to Arliss Street, we've implemented the Arliss Street detour, including the on-street parking restrictions and pedestrian detours. We've also completed the installation of the overhead catenary system foundations in that area. And we begin the installation of the drainage systems and also the curbs and sidewalks. The upcoming work there is we're going to continue with the drainage and installation and also continue with the curb and sidewalk reconstruction. The Long Branch Station area, Lower Arliss, We completed removal of the asphalt and the site preparations for the station foundations. The upcoming work in that area is we're going to continue the site preparation, and we're going to begin installing the station retaining walls and also begin station construction. With that would be installing all the underground station utilities. On Piney Branch Road, we have there's been a lot of work going on there. We've completed the water, the sewer, the gas, and the telecommunication relocation. We've also continued excavating for the box culvert under Piney Branch Road. We've installed the storm drain system, continued to install construction of all the retaining walls. We've began roadway widening, traffic signals, sidewalks, and curb installations. The upcoming work there is to continue the sidewalk and curb installation, continue installation of the stormwater management facilities, and begin installation of the new traffic signals. The detours and what to expect in these areas. East Wayne Avenue, we have the work zone there. We're working on the both north and south side of the road. Will be established. One lane in each direction will be maintained on the south side for westbound and the eastbound traffic. Pedestrians will be detoured on the south side of East Wayne Avenue between Manchester Place and Sligo Creek Parkway. This traffic pattern will be in place for approximately 1 more year. Arliss Street closures. Arliss Street has been closed between Piney Branch and Walden Avenue. This the temporary road exists for to access the Flower Branch Apartments and Tacoma Park shopping centers. A pedestrian detour exists between Piney Branch Road and Garland Avenue. We are currently working on that to finish up that all that work up there to help open up this road. And that I will turn it over to Carla Julian.
Thank you, Ed. All right, next slide. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. As you all know, we do love us some Long Branch, even though we do have a lot of frustration with construction. One of our favorite events of the year is the Long Branch Festival, so we were happy to participate again in that this year. Next slide, please. As always, a friendly reminder with all of the MOT impacts that we have going on in your neighborhood, maintenance of traffic. Please do pay attention as you are a pedestrian, a biker in your car. We want you to be alert, not on your cell phones. And as always, I know Annie is the champion of this, and I very much appreciate it, letting us know when there's things that get a little out of line or that we need to improve on. So we welcome those types of emails and communication. And we just really appreciate everybody's patience as we work through this. We know how difficult and what an inconvenience it is. Next slide, please. And just to remind everybody of all the ways that you can reach us, obviously the website is purplelinemd.com. And you can reach the team for construction, any sort of inquiries, concerns, requests that you may have through outreach at purplelinemd.com. And if you are a member of the media, there is now media at purplelinemd.com. If you're looking to schedule an interview or have any type of inquiries, please contact the team there. And as always, the hotlines in English and Spanish. And you can follow us on social media for additional updates and information as well. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Doran for some exciting news.
Thank you, Carla. We will finish up with the final slide of the evening to announce PLTP's Beyond the Rails Community Grant Program. You can see much of the information on this slide, but really what we were inspired to create here was a program that helps the countless number of groups along the Purple Line corridor that are already doing good work within the community. We wanted to help provide them with even more funding and to amplify the work and the mission that they were pursuing. So we've developed this grant program where community groups can apply for grants. So I know there's a lot of active members of the community on this call. And if you're affiliated with a group doing a good work in the community that could benefit from a grant, I encourage you to take a few moments and apply. There is a simple web form on our website, and the link is there, and you can navigate there, from the homepage and fill in some information so that we can understand what initiative you would like, kind of in the category of improving the community or the environment along the Purple Line corridor. And we will be evaluating those, and every 6 months we will select 6 awardees for the grant, and the initial deadline is November 30th. So you still have time to get yours in. I'll hand it back to Gary.
Thank you, Doran. This concludes our CAP presentation. Before we continue, I'd like to acknowledge our local elected officials. I see we have Rose Stutz, Chief of Staff for Delegate Laura Jarkudian, and Paul Ellis from Kate Stewart's office. Thank you for joining us tonight. Now we'll open the floor to CAP members. Please raise your hand using the icon atop your screen and you will be acknowledged. You also can type questions in the chat section. Again, we ask that you limit questions or comments to 1 minute. And if your question is not addressed tonight, don't worry. All questions will be addressed later in a question and response posting on the website. Similar questions will be combined, so you may not see your question posted verbatim. Additionally, we will accept questions for another week at outreach@purplelinemd.com. That's outreach@purplelinemd.com. Now, please raise your hands if you have questions. I see Annie Talkin has a question. Go ahead, Annie.
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. This was actually, I appreciated this. This is so great to see all the new renderings and stuff. Really excited about that. A neighbor sent me this question. She lives along Flower Avenue towards Franklin, and she had noted that there are still some trucks that are not supposed to be utilizing that route. And so she had asked what she should be doing in terms of reporting those trucks who are not supposed to be using Flower Avenue because they're too heavy, and Franklin because they're too heavy. So what's the best course of action for someone to take if they see a truck that should not be on that road?
I can take this one, Annie. This is Carla. If she can reach out to the outreach email and or hotline, and if she can take, if she's able to take a picture of the truck as it's driving by, we have a process in place where obviously we communicate this down through our contracts that folks have a specific haul route to follow. We share that haul route. Sometimes the individual truck drivers, unfortunately, do not follow that and just follow their GPS. So if we get a picture of the truck, we look at it with our construction team. When we warn the truck drivers, we talk to the trucking company owners, and then if a particular driver repeats to not follow those rules, we'll ask to have them removed from the project. So if she can let us know with any photo details of the truck or whatever details she may have, we will be happy to chase it down from there.
Great. Thanks, Carla. And then I just
Carla, can I add? I'm
Go
sorry, Annie, I just need to add one more thing to Carla's comment that we are currently working on Flower Avenue. So if the truck is actually going to the work area, that is allowed. But if it's driving through, you're right, have her take a picture. Just have her look down the road. If it is actually stopping at our work area, that is legal. We've been getting a lot of phone calls about that, and we've been addressing them. But again, follow what Carla said. We still report it. We will let you know if it's actually working there, or we'll get rid of it. Thank you for your question.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ed, Carla, and Annie.
Yeah. Wait, and Gary, just quick piece. I think the section that she was talking about was between East Wayne and Franklin, and then on Franklin towards University, because I think some of the trucks are coming from 495 or heading to 495. So Yeah, so just for clarity's sake.
Thanks, Annie. Yes, please let me know and we will follow our process.
Okay, thank you. Liz King asks, when will Barron Street be reopened to two-way traffic?
Hi, good afternoon. This is Manuel Marino. I'm also area manager for the Purple Line. So Barron Street is currently under reconstruction. So we are working on one side of Barron Street. And once that's done, we will flip it over to the other side to complete the full reconstruction. But this, as you will see there every day, it's a very complicated construction. So it will take still some weeks to go. Probably towards the end of the year, everything will be completed.
Okay, thank you. Joel, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. How about the metro buses on University Boulevard? It's right on Piney Branch Road and Flower Avenue, and the University of Maryland on University Boulevard and Flower.
Okay, what about those buses, Joel?
Are they gonna have the location of the bus stops and those three carriers, like the Metro on University Boulevard? Pine Branch has the Ride-On, and the Flower has the University of Maryland shuttle buses, and also University Boulevard as well.
Okay, good question. I think the bus companies and bus owners will determine the exact routes and stops as we progress in the project.
I
So,
knew they're gonna have some public hearings too, I guess, before about 6 months before the actual when they do move, they have to have a public hearing.
so that will
I
be
know
handled by the
yeah.
that will all be handled by the bus owners, Joel, and they'll tell
Okay.
us when and where the stops will be.
Maybe they have a public hearing or some type of meeting and let them know what's going on.
We'll have to check with them on that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I see another hand raised. Annie, you have another question.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the rendering that you shared earlier on about University Boulevard. And this maybe if there's someone from SHA on here that they probably want to start listening. So it looked like there was bike lanes on that rendering for University Boulevard, and it didn't look like they were protected bike lanes. And as a person who walks along University Boulevard and sometimes cycles there as well, it's a little concerning to see just paint as protection for the bike lanes on University Boulevard. So I'm wondering if there's any conversation about actually having protected bike lanes on University Boulevard.
Perhaps Joe Moses from SHA can speak to that.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, thank you for your question, Annie. This is Joe Mogus, SHA Senior Safety Officer. Previous designs, I believe in 2018, did not accommodate a buffered bike lane along University Boulevard. And at that time, we did request a change order to incorporate a few traffic calming treatments, namely lane narrowing and a 2-foot buffer between lane number 2 and the bike lanes along the curb line. And we also incorporated hash marks for that buffer. That does not preclude any further enhancements in the ultimate condition. We could consider vertical delineation or something akin to that. But to be clear, there are many controlled and uncontrolled access points along University Boulevard. That's including signalized intersections, unsignalized intersections, access points, driveways, service road access points, etc. So that is something that can be considered, but it would not be as simple as some curbing along University Boulevard. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Layla Diaz asks, is there an estimate on when Arliss Street will be open to traffic between Flower Avenue and Garland Avenue?
Let me take that one. This is Ed Davis. We are currently working in that area to make that happen. As an estimate, I'm going to say within the next 2 or 3 months it could happen. We are currently working in that, restoring everything to make that open. We understand that that community has been through a lot in the last 5 years with construction. So we are working on that to open that up. Right now, I'm not sure if we're going to open it up in a one-way configuration or both ways. So we will let the community outreach let that message out when the time is right. But we are working towards that.
Okay, other questions? Raise your hand or type in the chat. Other questions? Okay, I see another hand raised. Annie talking.
Shocking. It's me again. So quick question about the top portion of Manchester Place stop. I know we talked about the portal portion of Manchester Place, but is there any plans for the top section, which is going to house the elevator and things like that?
Annie, this is Ed Davis again. Yes, I'll take that. Right now, as soon as we're finished with the porthole off of Wayne Avenue, our crews are going inside, and we will also be doing the utility work and underground up on top of Manchester to continue that progress up there, and then we'll be turning that over to our station, Hensel Phelps, our station builder, and they will be utilizing that space also. But we are continuing to build the retaining walls up there, the underground retention system, all of the drainage system up there. And you could see, if you go by there now, you'll see a lot more activity of us cleaning up the area and getting it prepared for more construction activity.
Thank you. Good question. Other questions? Please raise your hand or type in the chat section. Greg Saunders.
So at a prior CAD, I believe the most recent, but maybe 2 ago, there was a fair amount of discussion about possible crossings, enhanced crossings for pedestrians on Piney Branch north of Flower. I was wondering if there had been any further discussion or consideration of that issue, or should we just otherwise follow up?
Hello, good afternoon. This is Manuel Merino, again from the Purple Line. So right now, the current configuration already contemplates signalized crossings at the Arliss, Baron, and Garland, and obviously at the corner between Piney Branch and University Boulevard. When you go, you will see west of Piney Branch, the current crossing will remain as it is. Not sure if this is answering your question, but at least, I mean, you have a glimpse of all the pedestrian crossings that will be in permanent configuration.
Thank you, Red Summer.
Okay, other questions? You can either raise your hand using the hand icon atop your screen or type a question into the chat section. Okay, well, again, that concludes our CAT presentation. You can sign up for construction notices at purpleLineMD.com. For project questions and comments, contact Public Outreach. Our email address is outreach@purpleLineMD.com. Or you can call us at 443-451-3706, or for Spanish, 443-451-3705. We're staffing our hotlines, so someone will be available to take your calls around the clock. And please follow us on social media. We've got great stuff on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Okay, I see someone has typed something in the chat. That was a thank you. Okay, and now I'm going to turn it back over to the MTAs, Ray Biggs II.
All right, thank you, Gary, for leading us through the CAT meeting and the very last CAT meeting for this fall season for 2023. So thank you all for attending tonight. And please enjoy the rest of your night, and be sure, as Gary said, to sign up for the updates. We are continuing with a lot of construction and look forward to bringing our vehicles here next year. So you'll start to see those vehicles come in. The next meetings will be announced in early next year. I see that just came in the chat. But as mentioned, we have the CAT meetings twice a year. So it will be probably sometime in late winter or early spring of next year when we'll have the next set of CAT meetings. However, as we mentioned, we do have our newsletter that includes updates. Our communications team, as you saw tonight, we had the video that gave an overview of construction. We'll have more of that information coming out in between the CAT meetings that will continue to communicate the information about what's going on. And if you want to know as far as what construction is happening in your area to get those alerts, sign up online and sign up for those email alerts or follow us on our social media accounts. Thank you again, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. You have a good evening.
Thank you, Joel.